everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast. It is a Labor Day special. What's happening, guys?
Morning. Long time no see. I feel like the world a lot has happened over the last, so many days since the last time we were on there in the sports world that we're behind the times.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that's pretty funny is so Shiloh Sanders, right? He gets released, right? Obviously, the punch didn't help his career as far as staying on Tampa, but there's a funny element to it. There is a funny element to it. So his career earnings in the NFL was $1,572, and for that punch, he just got fined $46.69 for throwing a punch on the field. So he is, roughly down $3,100 in the NFL.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Deion Sanders is probably. What's gonna happen? Hey, Dad. So I punched this guy, and they're asking for 3 times more than what I make. You think throw a little cash my way real quick when we get out of this jam? Oh, appreciate you, Dad. Appreciate you.
Shiloh's fine. He has money other places like that. That's not the issue. But I just thought it was hilarious because he made $1,500 and basically almost $4,700 ends up being a fine for him throwing a punch on the field.
Only $4,700.
Well, because it was preseason. Well, because it was preseason. That would have been a $50,000
was he fined by the NFL?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, had that been in the regular season, that's like a $25,000 or $50,000 fine. But in the preseason, because they're not really paying any.
Is it really that expensive?
It really is. Yeah. Yeah. Like their baseline fine is like $10,000.
Well, and I understand it because you want it to hurt.
Yeah.
And these guys are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars,
if not millions. Yes.
Game is what I'm getting at.
Oh, yeah.
So it's usually the fine is for the game.
Correct.
So and like I said, because ultimately, I mean, I got to imagine that if I am a team, and I'm talking to me like this, like in this regard, if I am a team, I'd almost want to make sure that this guy's private life is intact and stuff like that. So that they're not dealing with much of their paycheck is kind of what I'm getting at. That it's like a lot go into bills. It's automatic pay. We're paying this. We're paying this. We're paying this. We're paying this for you, so that that kind of works itself out for you, and that's. That they may get like a few $1,000s, or they have like hundreds of thousands of dollars of walking around money.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But you don't ever see those guys flexing $100 bills. You know what I mean? They just don't typically run that way most of the time. I figure that they have no idea what it is that they have or don't have. So in most cases that gets paid over 3 weeks or a month. That fine, whatever that fine is. It's kind of what I'm getting at.
So yeah, I don't know if they have like payment structures or whatever, but yeah, I mean most of those guys just write a check for it.
I mean,
I would think so. I would think that would be one lump sum. I don't think they're making out monthly installments.
I would think I would figure that they have to write the check for it, but somebody else is writing the check for it is what I'm getting at, and they're taking it out of the paycheck one or twice at a time.
I think a finance manager or something like that probably deals with that, and then he just takes it out of Shiloh's account.
Yeah, I mean the team wouldn't, but yeah, if they have like somebody that's running,
especially a team you're not on that team right now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know who else is not on a team anymore either, because we haven't been on since this happened. Micah Parsons.
That is true. That is true.
Here it is now, 3 days after the fact, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the trade?
How do I feel about it? I mean, I feel about everything like I feel about Jerry Jones. I'm numb to it now. It's almost like it doesn't even bother me. It's like, what's indifferent? That's the word. There's no feeling. It's indifferent. I feel indifferent. I'm dimmed. You know why it is? Because this is what always freaking happens under Jerry Jones' watch. It just happens. And you get used to it. You get used to the sadness, the despair, the frustration, the contemplating the meaning of life. Yeah, you get past all that. Pags. Honestly, I mean,
It sounds
we
like
got
you're a
what do we
Houston
get?
fan.
We got what, 2 number ones and a defensive tackle. And they're Green Bay number one, so they'll be lower end, like we're getting upper echelon number ones.
Sure.
So we're not getting crap. It is what it is.
I mean, the only thing it does do
I hate
is
it.
it saves you from being in cap hell, right?
It does. It
So,
does.
I mean,
They just gave
for
Bland
argument's
what? They
sake-
gave Bland 4 years, $92 million to DeRon Bland. So yeah, I mean they're gonna pay some guys in our secondary, whatever, and I guess it's a good thing, right?
And you already had CD's contract and Dak's contract. So I mean, like you had some high. Don't get me wrong. Like I don't love that you moved off him, but at the same time, it does make some sense. You get a couple of ones. I think if they would have done this pre-draft, you would have got more for him, right?
Yeah.
But because you drug your feet and Jerry is Jerry and made it this spectacle and everybody basically knew he was going to have to leave, I think they got less than they could have. But, ultimately you get a tackle, which is helpful because you guys do kind of suck against the run. And then you get a couple of ones, albeit they'll be later rounds. But, Arch Manning looked like trash, so he could be a late one.
Oh, don't even. Hey, I want to talk about Arch. I got a 3-minute rant about how pissed off I am about.
Oh, no. That's definitely coming up in this episode.
Okay, then I will hold my tongue for time being. It is very hard. But I do want to say one thing I don't understand. So Jerry had no problems. 2 instances I don't understand. Right now, and now Michael Parsons is the 3rd instance. The first instance I don't understand is how you want to give 3 guys $100 million, one of them being Zeke, one of them being Amari, obviously the other one Dak. No problems. We give out the money. No problems. You got the money. You got the bags. Whatever. We eat it all. Then you're going to go out and give Dak, although a little bit of, stagnation there, but you ultimately make Dak the highest paid quarterback in the league. No problems. We're not dealing with this craziness. All of a sudden now, your best guy on defense, probably the one that has the most credibility on the team, and this is what we're doing? I saw it. So you got 47.5 million, I think Green Bay gave me a year. I think Jerry came in at about 40 million, 40.5 million. Yeah. The point is, how are we giving all this money on 2 different occasions to multiple people with no problems, really? And all of a sudden now, Jerry Jones's entire 30-year career, now all of a sudden this one time, the most credibility on your team, and now we got a freaking problem. What are we doing? I don't understand it. That's what I don't understand.
I mean, I don't know. It's not like he showed out in playoff games, right? He had 1 sack in 4 playoff games. I mean, I didn't hate the move overall because by the time this trade happened, that relationship was so fractured. Even if they paid the guy, I don't think it would have been great in the locker room. So, I mean, it basically went a direction that there wasn't really a way to salvage it. At least from the outside, that's what it looked like. It looked like it looked like they were probably going to pay him, and it was just going to be toxic the whole time. So for them to actually get him out of the room made a lot of sense to me.
I don't know though, but I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I also know that he reached out to all his positional groups. He reached out to Dak. Everybody's talking. Everybody's like doesn't want him to. I don't think he would have been. What would have been the toxic part would have been probably between him and Jerry. I get that part would have been toxic, but I don't know if he would have been necessarily toxic in the locker room because everybody liked Micah. Micah liked everybody. I don't think there was an issue with the players. I don't think there's an issue with the coaches. I think it's just strictly a Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons hate-a-thon.
So I tell you, Joe, cap hell is not anywhere near what anybody thinks it is. And I'll tell you, they're getting much smarter with it, and there's a lot more money. So this is working out the way it's supposed to in that regards. It's like it's automatic. Like and all of a sudden, because this cap has been jumping up by $20 to $30 million a year lately. And it's only going up.
It goes up pretty consistently. So really over the last 20 years, it's basically like a 7% bump every year, 5 to 7%.
So with that being said, it's like, and they know that they have a new deal when it's like they're doing deals now on the yearly basis, not even. So it's so much money that's going to be coming in and such that the first guy making the move is going to be the one that gets the money. That's why I love the fact that the Eagles are ahead of the time when it comes to that type of stuff. That being said, truth of the matter is that if Dallas was going to do it, this would be the year. Blow it up and just grab as much as you can. Make sure that you have the right coach in place. You want like somebody who is like in tune with the college scene.
Yeah.
And come in and know like somebody who is really good at the portal stuff and is a winning coach and could build this team over the next 4 years. Because that's what I think you're at. I think that it's time to blow this up, that you guys have all the wrong pieces. And I think that Jerry feels the exact same way.
Yeah, Jerry doesn't have enough years on the back end here that I don't think he wants to do a rebuild, because I don't think he believes
I think that you
around for it.
I think that you have just seen the first move of Stephen Jones. I think that's what's happening here. This is the Stephen Jones era. It has just begun.
So you think all this issues with Micah Parsons is the?
I feel that this. Well, and I'll tell you the reason why they got rid of Micah Parsons has nothing to do with the talent or the money. This has to do with the podcast.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is that relationship is there was no way.
Well, but that's going to be always the problem with Micah Parsons.
Correct.
Yeah.
He's got the podcast, and you got to be able to deal with that. That would have been a stipulation that I'd have in my contract. If I was Green Bay. Hey, listen, $188 million, no podcast.
Yeah, you don't need that extra money.
Nope. We got you. It's covered now. No podcast. But they didn't do that.
Yeah.
And it might have been a sticking point, but I don't know. That's what I would have stuck it at, that sticking point, because you were really given the best deal. I mean, he talked about 3 number ones when we first heard it. So Green Bay really kind of pushed the envelope here, thinking that this is going to make a difference.
The problem is, I mean, I know you talk about blowing up the team, and I'm all in favor of blowing up the teams. I think you're right. We have some wrong pieces in there, and grab as much as you can, rebuild. We've seen that process work more. And again, like you said, had the right coach, had the right people helping with the drafting, build your team, winning coach, collegiate, all that. So I get all that. The problem with that is that's not who Jerry Jones hires.
That is true.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is Stephen Jones. This is Stephen Jones. I think you've seen I think you just saw the first move, and this is just my opinion. Like I said, they haven't come out publicly, and Jerry isn't going to allow that to come out publicly. But I believe that this deal is actually the first move of the Stephen Jones era. And that's what this is going to be. You're going to look back in time and saying trading Mike and Parsons was really the very first Stephen Jones decision, and that Jerry is stepping down. And it looks good right now to keep Jerry up there because he's still alive, and you don't want to embarrass him. But I'd be willing to think that you may see the Dallas Cowboys as big sellers this year and trying to acquire picks for the next couple of years.
I could see them trying to move Dak, maybe CD. If they were going to go the full blow it up route, I don't think they are. But one fun thing is the same agent of Parsons is Pickens. So that's a dude that's probably not getting another contract in Dallas either.
I mean, I think Jerry got slighted a little bit by, hey, we're talking a deal. Let's try to figure this out. And he was doing it with him.
Yep.
And then he's like, all right, no, you just deal with my agent. You know what I mean? That they are, that they have a couple of small sticking points. If I was Jerry Jones, I'd be telling him too, I don't want the podcast anymore.
Yeah.
It could have all been about that podcast. And that
He's not giving that up. That's his future after football. He's gonna be next damn Pat McAfee, just a different version of it.
I don't think that at all. I don't think he's that good.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's a great podcast at all.
I mean, the podcast is no different than our podcast, except that he plays football.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, his stories are different than ours. That's really all that is. But he also likes to talk smack.
He does.
You know, and when he is, you know, if you're trying to act a part, you know, and be like, hey, like a couple of different things, a couple touchdowns that they don't score and we don't get beat by that much, you know, it was a 40-7 game, you know, and he's making statements like that sound complete bull. Like, you know, you don't believe that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he's got to say something and still try to inspire the team.
Mhm.
But then he goes on his podcast and says, yeah, I said it. Woo. Yeah, and, you know, this is what else I'm doing. You know what I mean? Because he's not really talking about – he blew that off quick as day. You know what I mean? Because he said it. It sounded goofy when he said it. And then it's like he said that he didn't really mean it because he didn't know what else to say.
Yeah.
That really detracts from everything that you just said.
I just have a quick question, if I may, since we're talking Dallas and Brad's talking Dallas. I just gotta say, Brad, let's go back to what Philly Sports Guy said. Bantering is good. I love the bantering. I even like the fact that you hate the Cowboys so much that every day your opening line is something about cow turds. Let me just ask you one thing. Could just put just a little bit more imagination into your comments. I don't mind the bantering on the Cowboys.
Right,
the problem I have with it, I feel like you copy and paste all of your stuff. Like you just copy and paste every day, and there's no original thought that's going on up here. Other than I'm just saying the word cow turd, and if I say cow turds and Dallas is trash and Philadelphia is good, and I say that over and over and over like the Mandela effect, we're all going to start believing it. No, that's not what we believe. I just need some more imagination, a little bit better bantering in your comments about the Cowboys. I enjoy it. I do. I enjoy a good Cowboy joke. Just give me some more to work with. Okay. Thank you.
Just an original joke. I got you.
Since we
started the rant, I want you to keep on going because I actually agree with that statement. But talk to me about what you think about how Texas played.
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into that one because I'm still, here's my thing. This is what gets me. Everybody's so hyped up, and I joined the train for once in my life. I joined the train. Archie Manning. How can he possibly go wrong? Everybody in his family shits excellence. How can he be the one that pisses crap? I don't understand. How do you piss crap? And I really do believe he's adopted. That's a whole other story for another day. But here's my thing. How is it every single time I see something on ESPN about Arch Manning, it has to do with, well, do I go pro first round? Do I stay in school and do another year and then come out and go pro? Grandpa Archie comes out and says, no, Archie's going to stay at Texas till 2026. Archie comes back and says, I don't know where my grandfather got that from. I don't ever said that. The problem is, why the hell are you worried about going into the NFL draft trying to get number one when you can't even complete a damn pass?
So
let's just complete a pass.
Let's be fair. This was also his first real start.
Oh, bullshit. We're not going to be fair. No, I'm not going to let you do it, Bo.
Wait.
Let you do it. That does that. Everything.
Wait.
Go ahead, Bo. Well, you just have to rant, but go ahead.
It was his first start against some real competition. Like, he did play a couple of games last year, but he wasn't playing against anybody tough. So he's coming out against an Ohio State team that has a defense that have like 4 or 5 guys that are probably going to the NFL next year and another 4 or 5 guys that are going to the NFL the year after. So, and it's not like he came out and was atrocious, right? Like, yeah, he threw for 50%.
No, actually he was. I disagree.
No, hold on. I'll let you get back to your rant.
My rant.
Just wait. It's 50% completion, right? A touchdown and an interception. And the game was 14-7. So it's not like they got blown out. It's not like it was some tragic event. He had moments, especially in the fourth quarter, that he looked okay. Like, calm down, Y'all are going to be all right.
Well, we watching the same game. I don't know. Maybe I was watching a different game. And Bo, I'm a Texas fan. I got Archie's jersey on my wall. So
that's not my fault.
I
You
know.
like the Cowboys. I don't know how to help you.
What's the point? Hold on a minute. Hold on. Let's hold on. Let's just back up just a minute. Because I know the game I watched 4 overthrown passes that weren't even close to the receiver. I saw one go for interception. And here's the kicker. Here's what really got me mad. So we're down 14-7. We're on a winning drive. We're on the other side of the 50, getting ready to get in, or we're actually at this point, now we're into scoring territory, or we're getting close to the scoring territory. He throws the ball to the guy in the flat, and there's not a defender that I can see one on the screen anywhere near that man. But yet you throw it behind him. And guess what? There's nobody even coming behind you. You're just out there free rolling. And all you have to do is a little 10-yard slow pass to the flat and let that dude go for about 60 damn yards. And you throw it behind him. Not just a little bit behind him, but the dude literally tore his rotator cuff trying to get to the ball. It was so far behind him. So I don't want to hear this crap about, well, we play the number 1 team, Jay. And I don't want to hear it. If you can't complete a simple pass.
Get to the part where I was saying I do think he's overrated and he's not ready. But you couldn't shut up for 2 seconds and let me finish.
No, that's bullshit. Don't say it to me because you said I could rant. Philly guy said I could rant, and I was just letting out my frustration. And then you jumped into my bathwater, and I wasn't ready.
Right. I appreciate that too. Jay is on it today a little bit.
He is. I like it.
You said I could rant. I would have let out all the stuff that I was holding in. I needed to tell somebody. Right now, you're my therapist, so just let me talk.
Yeah, I thought that he was projecting his throws. I did think he was projecting his throws, and that's where the interception came. It really should have been 2 interceptions. I don't know. They weren't going down the field. I do think that the referees played, called a pro Ohio State game as well. I don't think that. I think that there were at least 2, maybe 3 plays that I saw that were, pass interference that they did not call. But it wasn't like blatant stuff. It was just, it was close. It was good play stuff in the NFL, but I didn't think they were calling it that close in college. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yes, and Ohio State plays just a little bit better of a game.
Arch tunes into our show for sure.
My thing about it is, look, guy, here's the thing. If you're going to ask for $6 million, you're the highest whatever NIL guy getting paid money, and you're out here contemplating the meaning of if you're going to go in the first round or if you're going to, you're already, even in his own brain, he's already assuming that he's going to do all these great things. He might as well just wear the chain of legendary like Shador did and go to the draft like that. I mean, look, you can't hype yourself up. You cannot do your own personal hyping and then go out there and lay a damn goose egg. You either go out there and execute or get the fuck off my field. And Matthew McConaughey.
I love how
Matthew McConaughey. Every time Matthew McConaughey comes to our game, I swear to God, they do an hour-long monologue on Matthew McConaughey, and then we lose every time. They did it at the Ohio State game last time.
The monologue was better than the game.
Yes, it was.
I love how far you've come on Arch from like a week ago. You're like, oh yeah, he's the best. He's gonna be great. And you're like, get off my field.
You don't know how bad it was for me watching that game. It was so bad that I almost reverted to old Cowboyisms. I almost tried to yank the damn TV off the wall until I realized how much I paid to put it up there in the first damn place. Otherwise, I would have ripped that TV off and thrown it out in the damn street.
When I was wondering what that was. So
I mean, that all being said, do you think that Texas will be unranked next week?
No,
I don't think. I mean, I get where you go.
You guys were number 1 in the land. Now you guys maybe go from 1 and done.
I mean, they lost to Team 3. I think they'll be okay.
That's while you guys were at away, you guys had to play in the horseshoe. Exactly. Like I said, It was actually a great game by the defense. It was exactly what you would think a preseason college football game should be look like. And
Yeah.
that's what it was. This was a preseason college football game that they made into who's going to determine the top spots at the end of the year, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're projected to be that good, and let's hope that Texas actually isn't. I don't think that they're as bad as they looked. This was like your warm up game,
Yeah.
and you guys lost 10-7 at somebody else's house. So as much as I would have a lot more to talk about if he fails. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's as bad as he looked in this game.
Yeah.
And I think that I don't think he's as good as what's going to be. But I do like the idea. I mean, because Alabama lost. Who did they play?
FSU.
Yeah, and then you got Clemson, and that makes sense to me with that FSU beating Alabama. I can imagine they want to try to set the standard here a little bit, but Notre Dame lost. I mean, I like the fact that this is like the start of the season. So if you are going to be in the playoffs, you got to have these games now to figure out how it goes in the end, because everybody's going to win in their conference.
Yeah,
when you're playing like the other crap teams.
No, the sad part about it was, like you said, that the defenses played on both sides of the ball. Both defenses played extremely well. You know, I mean, Ryan Day, I tip my hat to Ryan Day. The guy is just really good at defensive play call. He really is. My thing is you know, where does Texas go from here? You still got to play Georgia. I mean, you got to play all these teams. You know, it's not like saying the number 9 guy out of the top, ESPN 300. That's who that came over to them to Ohio. It's not like this guy had like a ton of experience either. He only had 24 snaps in all of college. So it's not like this guy came on the same biggest stage as what Archie came in. He just didn't make as many mistakes. He was actually completing some good bombs and some nice.
He didn't look great either, though. Like it's not like he was playing out of his mind. It was a 14-7 game.
I'm not saying he's playing out of his mind, I'm not saying he's playing out of his mind, but he did look like he had more confidence. He played with more confidence. I felt like when Archie was out there, I was biting my nails for him because he just looked nervous. Like Archie looked nervous out there. He didn't look like a guy that was in command of his team. And I felt like Sayin actually looked like he was in command of his team. Even though maybe the score, wasn't as high as whatever, I still felt like he had a certain level of confidence that I I can get behind this guy.
So who does Texas play next?
I got to look at their schedule. Quite honestly, I don't even know.
They probably play like TCU or something like that.
I think they have a cupcake game coming up.
Texas State.
Yeah, something.
All right. I'm just interested to, I'm interested to see how he recovers from this. I wonder because I'm a firm believer that when you lose a big game, you usually lose the next game too. So it would be worth it if they had somebody that they could walk through this next one.
Which
like a confidence builder.
Yeah, so another team also fell apart. Now, Texas isn't going to fall that far in the rankings because, again, Ohio State was ranked 3rd, right? So, and it's not like it was a blowout or anything like that. This next one, though, gets real interesting because Alabama got smoked by Florida State.
Yeah, literally got
31-17. It was a rough outing for an unranked Florida State to, I think Alabama was ranked 8th, I think, at the time. So that should be good.
Didn't Florida State go to the bowl game like I guess it was last year and most of their people didn't play?
That was 2 years ago. So that was the last year of the 4-team playoff. They were undefeated and they let a 1-loss Texas and a 1-loss Alabama in ahead of them. So
they decided not to play.
Nobody showed up to the bowl game and they got absolutely rocked, obviously. Last year, they had a horrendous year. They had a whole bunch of injuries, and I think I want to say they had like a 2 or 3 win season. Like it was brutal, which is why they're unranked coming in. And then they beat up on Alabama.
Yeah, I that's why I'm saying it's like they got unranked, but that they have the talent there.
Yeah.
So I I don't think. I think that was just a putting too much stock into last year. When you're saying that they were injuries, because they also had 8 people go into the draft. You know what I mean? So you had a whole bunch of NFL talent go, and you lost people. You lost some guys to the transfer portal because they knew that they weren't playing with that, so. But they actually have a good squad down there. I think that was not a surprise. I actually thought Florida State was going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, so I would have thought that for sure. I could even see them winning this game, although it was in Tuscaloosa, so I was figuring Alabama would win. But I thought it was going to be a closer game. Alabama was really never in danger of winning this game. Like they looked bad from the jump, and it was funny because my buddy Herb, huge Alabama fan, right? And so I'm texting him, and the first drive they go down, they score. But I was like, hey, like that was kind of there was some lucky moments in that. Like that first drive, there was a narrowly missed pick, and then there was like a lucky like defense that was out of position that kind of kept the thing alive, and they score. And so I was just like, yeah, like any opening drive that you score is a good drive, but it didn't look good, right? And then Florida State turned right around, throws a bomb, and then a play later is in the end zone. I was just like, where was the defense there? And so about halftime, I was like, hey, you know what? I got to go. I got to get to the stadium. I'm turning it off. So maybe I was the bad luck. You guys can start playing now. And then check the score at halftime during the game. And I'm like, oh, nope, it did not get better.
Well, they couldn't stop the run. That's for sure. I mean, Alabama struggled with the run. They got 4 rushing touchdowns. The guy only threw for 154 yards.
Yep.
But they used a ton of people. I mean, people they used to run. I didn't get to watch this game. I watched the highlights of this game because I was watching the Texas game. But they had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 people running the ball, and all of them, except for maybe 1 or 2 of them, were averaging over 4.5 yards a carry.
So that'll let you know the offensive line isn't opening stuff up.
Oh yeah, because on the opposite end, Alabama couldn't run the ball to save their life, but they could throw the ball. Yeah, pretty decent. I mean, Ty Simpson didn't do a bad job. 2 touchdowns, 250-something yards of pass. I mean, he didn't do a bad job. It was just her defense for Alabama couldn't stop the run.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's the thing is, Florida State just looked good. But yeah, it was funny because my buddy Herb, he's just like, if we pull this out, I am blocking you during this game the rest of the year.
he said, don't even bother even trying.
Like, do not text me. It
no
was
text, no call.
But no,
I like how the one guy gave the middle finger when they were, I guess somebody was doing a pan over on one of the Alabama fans, and he gave the camera a middle finger, and I'm like, yeah, that's how you know Alabama's hating life right now.
That must have been in the second half. I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, I saw it on Facebook. I saw on Facebook the dude had like a middle finger, and I'm like, yeah, that's how you know Bama's not rolling Tide right now. Maybe.
Yeah, LSU beating Clemson.
Instead,
that was a good one.
Miami beating Notre Dame. I hate Miami, but you know who I hate worse?
Notre Dame. Yep.
Well, Carson Beck ushered in his Miami debut in pretty well, it looks like, I guess.
And then
Spence, it's not really just no Saban making it different. Just the landscape of college football is different. Like, even if Saban was there, it would not be the same program.
Yeah.
I mean, even when they're interviewing coaches around, around college football, even they say the odds of us having undefeated teams moving forward with the way that these conferences are growing goes way down, right? Because now you don't have, 3 hard games on your schedule, and then you're playing Tulane and Temple and, teams that you're going to beat by 60. So, I mean, now all of a sudden your schedule is far more competitive throughout the length of your schedule as opposed to before, especially with Alabama, who would only play out of conference games that were the easiest games ever.
Right.
Do you think now, though, because NIL has changed the landscape a lot, which is obviously why Saban obviously left football,
Yep.
do you think the way the landscape is now that that's going to do away with the Alabama type dynasties or the Georgia type dynasties that they were having? And now we're going to see more other teams like Pennsylvania, for example, who hasn't been in the top four, discussed like that for a while now. We see all these other programs start to take off.
I mean, if they're willing to pay.
So I disagree with that. I think what's going to happen is that you could, like, who's Jeff Bezos' alma mater?
I don't know offhand.
I don't know. I don't even know. Who
I'd be willing to bet that if they were to start to get a good football team and whatever, he could actually NIL whoever he wanted to.
Oh, for
You know
sure.
what I mean? So ultimately, this is going to become who's going to pay for the most kids in my school.
Exactly.
You know, if you want a number one team, you could buy it now.
Well, and that's why they're that's why they're talking about trying to implement some sort of cap as far as what the school can pay.
Well,
but that's such an easy hurdle to get around because the NIL doesn't have to go through the school.
Right. So it's like these guys are allowed to go out and work now and make commercials and stuff like that. Being an influencer is worth something. You know what I mean? And ultimately, the quarterback of the university is worth something, even to the university. You know, they would want to show, like, I would have him, everything you're doing right now are like acting classes, where you're doing communication classes. You know, that's what you're doing. We're grooming you to be the guy that's going to make us some money now and we're taking a percentage of it. Like, I feel like that's how this is getting to happen now. Like,
I believe that because now
universities are going to wind up getting cut in. Like, we're going to be working for you. We're going to act as your agent in essence to get these NIL deals. And I'm going to go after all the guys that have millions of dollars.
Well, and now you're seeing the NIL filtering down into high school. Now these colleges are going in and buying these students right up out of high school, locking them down with money. It's like the days of Nick Saban going into somebody's living room, giving them a nice pitch, taking them on a campus tour, and doing whatever. Those days are gone. Now it's just let me go into high school, throw some cash at this guy, and get him locked down, and we're good. We're in and we're out.
And even then, you're not even locking them down because the portal opens a couple of different times. So then if they're like, oh, you gave me money, but turns out practice is hard, I'm going to go somewhere else.
But don't they have to give that a part of that money back? And let's say for year 2, they got to give part of that money back.
It depends on how it's written. Some of these kids with the first ones were able to just walk away because they committed. They were there. They enrolled, but then the portal opened and they bounced. But because they were there and that verbiage wasn't in the contract, they kept that money. Now, that being said, that probably has changed now, but
you gotta imagine they're putting verbiage in there that says, "Hey, if we give you numbers of millions while you're in high school to come to us, you're gonna play for us, or you're gonna pay a prorated part back. If you don't play out the full contract, then you pay off, whatever we gave you."
It should be pay for play, right? Like just like it is in any other pro sport. So then it should be prorated to the games, right? You get a game check.
Right. No, I agree with that. And I almost think with this NIL and these contract monies that they would put in there, like, hey, look, just because you get to the college level, you will play in these bowl games or this. Remember how they were sitting out bowl games back in the day? I don't know if they're still doing that now as much. I know Pitts was the last one I remember sitting out. Kyle Pitts when he sat out.
It's actually worse. It's actually worse than it used to be. So there were guys that would sit out the bowl game because they didn't want to get hurt before the draft, right?
Right.
Now, because the portal opens in the middle of the playoffs, you have guys leaving the schools that are in the playoffs for the transfer portal. That is a wild stance to me because I'm a fan.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. I mean,
because you don't want to injure your chance of going, you have a bad game. Listen, playoff games make or break careers.
No question.
I agree with that.
So when you decide not to do that, you are saying, hey, listen, my stock is up high enough. I don't need to. And it's all about me. First thing that tells me is that you are not a team player.
Exactly.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
so.
If I'm a GM, I don't love seeing a guy sit.
No,
Yeah, I agree
if I'm
with
an
that.
agent, though, if I'm an agent, I don't care. I think it's better. I think it's better. And you could say you could blame it on the injury part,
No,
but
you
you
can.
actually blame it more on the matchup.
Sure.
You know, and you can say, all right, yeah, I think that you're better off not going up against this guy. I think this guy beats you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a fan of winning, so like I
Exactly.
would have a hard time not participating in.
But see, that's where sports and business sometimes have a hard time, because I think what Pags is saying, these guys are making business moves. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I mean, I see both of your points, because I'd really be competitive, but I also understand,
I get it.
hey, it's a business that I'm going into.
I get it from the business side, 100%.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would have still
Oh,
played.
yeah.
You know what? But see, and that's but then you get Kenny Pickett.
Sure.
Actually, I feel like he is the epitome of the guy who decided to not play in the bowl game, you know, not play, you know, finish out, you know, the season and stuff like that. You know, like, oh nope, I'm going to be a first round pick, or I'm going to be able to be in the NFL, and I don't want to ruin it.
And all he did was make it to the league and get a ring. So I mean, you know, he didn't do anything for it, but hey, he was there.
He was there. In fact, he was hurt half the time.
He took a knee, right? So
He did. So and now he's what? He's in third on that list in Cleveland. Is he even playing?
No. He's not there. He's a Raider.
Yeah, he's a Raider now.
Yeah, he was traded to the Raiders.
Was he?
Yeah. They did bring in another quarterback though. So now they have another quarterback on their roster. He is on their practice squad. The one and only Bailey Zappi.
Zappy.
So that is hilarious to me, because that means if Flacco gets hurt, there's an opportunity for Zappi, because he's been in the league for a little bit, to jump past Gabriel and Shador, so that they still have their veteran up front while the kids are getting up to speed. That would be hilarious. Like,
oh, that would definitely be hilarious. Shador would be like, oh, I got some legacy around my neck, and you got some dude named Bailey Zappi overshooting me. This is not how this is supposed to play out.
No, like, I don't think that's how it goes down, but it's curious that they would waste a roster, like a practice squad roster spot on another quarterback.
Yeah. Or does it show consistency on their part?
Why? Because they had six.
No, they're just consistently pitting people in the quarterback room for the hell of it. No matter what, they're going to consistently do that. They're showing consistency.
So they got 4 in that room.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I say, like, it's bizarre 5 if you include Deshaun, right? So, like, that is such an interesting way to run your roster, because you only get, what is a practice squad? 14, 12, 14? I don't remember, because I know it changed.
I thought it was 15 people.
Maybe it's 15. I know it changed last year before, something like that. But even if it's 15, why would you waste one on another quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean, 3 on the roster is a little bit of a stretch for a lot of teams, right? And
well, no, because I'm thinking about this now in a realistic sense. You know what I mean? You're Stefanski.
Sure.
And really, you have 4 quarterbacks, but you have no quarterback.
Yeah, well,
that's what's going on. He doesn't trust anyone.
They're actually dressing Shador, so their plan is to have him as their emergency quarterback. So they're actually going to dump a roster spot where they could have somebody else that's probably going to play for carrying 3 quarterbacks into every game. It's crazy to me. Like, that is an interesting approach.
Yeah, but you know what? It doesn't take up the extra. That takes up the extra spot. It doesn't change anything in what you have on your roster, anyways.
No, it's just a waste of a spot.
I see. I disagree here. I think that he's got a problem at quarterback.
Well,
Like
he
that he's got
absolutely has
four quarter.
problems.
So you know what? At this point, I'm going to take as much as I can get there. You know what I mean? Because if obviously, I think that he feels that Shador wouldn't be mature enough.
Sure.
That's the only reason why you would start Flacco. I mean, Flacco is so done. He is
Yeah,
so
of
done.
course. Of course.
You know what I mean? It's
He's
just
not
Vinny
starting
test.
all year. He's not starting all year. He's going to be. I would bet by week 8 someone else is starting.
No, I think it's going to be that bad. But I don't know. Maybe if
he has a quarterback for each and every quarter, like, all right, like Joe Flacco, you got first quarter, Gabriel, you got second, Shiloh, you got third, and Zappy, you're gonna take the fourth, and we're just gonna see how this quarterback by committee approach.
Well, Zappy won't dress for these games. He's still going to be on the practice.
He'll be a practice squad.
Zappy will be a player to be determined later. They'll figure it out.
I'm saying that it's. I think you want as much knowledge in that room as possible right now. Let's 4 eyes are better, or 8 eyes are better than 6. I guess the 6 that he had in there. You know what I mean? I got to imagine that there's a reason for what doing that. Like I don't have to worry about it. It's Jalen Hurts right now. That is his team. And that anybody who talks to. You talk on that team or on that offense, Jalen Hurts is the quarterback. Like he is the leader on that team. And he's actually, like they said, they made him a captain. You know what I mean? I know that you're supposed to kind of make them a captain in the first place, but that's not, he's the captain of that team. You know what I mean? He's going to wear the gold C.
Yeah, I don't know if DeVito or Zappy is better. Like, that's
is it just me, or do we hear words like last names like DeVito or Zappy? I have a hard time just buying into those type of guys.
Well,
like, I don't know. The last name just, I don't know. It just,
they don't ask him to do a lot. I mean, you're talking about a third string quarterback here.
Like you're saying Tommy DeVito, and all I'm thinking about is Danny and everything that went into him and the crap went into you. And I'm like, I keep thinking like, I was like, I don't know.
Clipboard holders. Imagine having Tony Romo when he was calling the plays, when he was seeing how the game was going and stuff like that, and having that next to you, as if he's out there on the field as a coach, is probably worthwhile. There's a reason why the backup quarterbacks get some say, because usually there's talk within that room. So I got to imagine that, that they all have a little bit of say at the moment.
That's interesting.
I don't know where I'm going with it. I guess
I do hope DeVito ends up on a team.
He's not going to be on any team.
I didn't realize. I guess I should have put that together.
It'd be good to see DeVito on a team just because we want to see his agent running around.
You know what I'd like to see DeVito do? I'd love to see him on a UFL team and lead that UFL team. Show me that you could beat the Bad Bunch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, are you an NFL quarterback? An NFL quarterback should be able to carve up.
I missed he got signed. Okay, so he's with the Patriots. I didn't realize that. I missed him getting signed.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't realize Danny DeVito and Tommy DeVito were related.
And that's what I think the fourth quarterback is, anyways. Quarterback is, it's like, all right, this guy's cool. You should give him a job. You know what I mean? Like it's like that's kind of what it is. That it's his knowledge is worth it to have in the locker room, or else he wouldn't be in the locker room.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like there's sometimes you just need the chemistry. Is kind of, I guess, what I was getting at with that in the first place is that you're bringing somebody in because they have knowledge on a room that you're not as sure about. I don't think that we'd have that problem in Philadelphia. I don't think they need that fourth quarterback.
Sure.
But I think that most of these teams that are always perpetually bad with the
Yeah.
quarterback play, should definitely have as many faces and minds in that room.
Scott, I hope that's true. That'd be awesome.
Oh man, that would be awesome. I want some cutlets.
So
Yeah, what a time. Okay.
Yeah.
and it's funny. In the meantime, there's also baseball going on, and since the last time we were on, Schwarber hit 4 home runs in one night. I happen to be like, that was actually a really cool night to watch. Almost swept the Braves. They just couldn't hold on in the 7th and 8th inning last night. But
I still feel like bullpen and rotation pitching are still a struggle for the Phillies. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's one weakness that I would say the Phillies have, it's in that pitching. I mean, the Astros got more issues than you got. So if all I have is just that one little issue, but
see, this is
can't put
where
up runs half the time.
everybody tries to blow past people, and I think that that's not the.
Yeah.
You have to. The problem is with. Like I think with Duran now, from the things that I see with Duran alone, and I think he's a great closer. I think, though, is that as you get further along into the playoffs, your timing gets a lot better on something like that. And that after a second night, of seeing him, you're going to be able to have him. You're going to be able to catch up to all of his pitches. And you're going to smack one. You know what I mean? And I think that's what happens when you're so used to hitting 100-mile-per-hour pitching and you see it all the time. Well, you start to actually get the timing. The Braves were out of it, so I mean, this was a good series to kind of watch that happen. I was hoping he's going to hit 50 before September.
Hey, he brought that up. That's a good point, Pags. What do you think about Walker Buehler? You guys picking up Walker Buehler. How you feel about it?
He's going to start. It doesn't matter. They want people to eat up innings. He's got to be an inning eater. I got to imagine they want him because he's been on playoff runs. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the problem right now. I want guys that that have won it. You know what I mean? The problem is that those guys weren't waived.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's nobody around. I mean, that's why they bring in Robertson as often as they do. Then Robertson's 40 years old, but he's still got decent stuff. Actually, he's got great changeup stuff, which is the perfect part about that. Because he makes guys look foolish, and it goes back to the slow pitches again. That you need the movement and be able to do weirdo things. You need that like a wiffle ball.
Yep.
In the 9th inning.
You know who is on the move is the Rangers. Now they're only 2.5 back, winning 8 of their last 10. All of a sudden, they're making it interesting.
I guess I shouldn't count the Rangers out so quickly.
How close are they to knocking out the Yankees?
Nowhere near them. Nowhere near them. The Yankees actually hold the top spot in the wild card over Boston. They're half a game up on Boston. Seattle is 3 games back and 2.5 over Texas. KC has started to slide. And the Rangers hanging around. That's a team you don't want to see hanging around. If you're in front of them, they're that team that will just sneak up on you.
Yeah, they will. As you can see, they're currently sneaking up on us now because I'd actually almost kind of written them off, saying like, okay, they're not going to do it now. But like you said, Bo, every time we do that, here they come.
Yeah, I mean, they've been in the playoffs a few times doing exactly that. Like they've looked bad most of the year, and then right at the end, they're just in striking distance, get on a heater, and find their way in the playoff. So and again, 2.5 games back, there's still enough baseball left that they could get there.
Yeah, I keep waiting for the Astros to activate Garcia and Jake Myers, but I guess they're still not 100% ready. But I keep thinking, I was like, man, if you could just activate Garcia, then we'd have Romber Valdez, Hunter Brown, and then we'd have Javier and Garcia. Then I'd feel pretty good about my pitching rotation. Javier, man, he heated up pretty good the other night against the Angels. He went 6 no-hit innings, and then they wound up pulling him out and putting in the relief. I mean, they got the win, but I mean, Javier looked like he was rounding back into midseason form, and that gives me encouragement, because now I feel like now we have 3 solid starters, and we got to find that fourth. I think we're good to go. And then I know JP France might be making his way back as well, so we'll see what happens. But I'd really like to see Jake Myers get back into that lineup because that's a good 300-plus hitter right there, not to have in your lineup. So I don't know, man. We'll see what mid-September looks like, but like you said, Bo, I'm right there with you, man. I mean, we lost the Angels last night. We got to win tonight, or we lose the series. So, and then we got the Yankees coming up tomorrow.
There was an appeal from Robles on his suspension for throwing the bat. So instead of the 10 games, he appealed it and is already started serving the 7-game suspension of what it became.
Okay.
So 3 less games. It also let him play a couple of games before that was levied out there. So he got to play a couple of games. Now he's going to have 7 off in a row, and then he's back in the lineup.
Well, they're right in time for the playoffs.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was I was hoping that the Phillies would call up Crawford, but I think that they are more concerned with pitching. That's why they had to fill out. They had to get everybody together for this spot because Alvarez isn't going to be able to pitch for the Phillies.
Yep.
We already know he's on the naughty list.
Yeah.
So
right on.
Either way, anybody doing barbecue or anything today?
No, I got a Storm game, so I'll be headed to the stadium about 3:00, and then. So this is actually a huge game for them. They're playing the LA Sparks, which is the team that's closest to them to knock them out of the playoffs. The Storm only have 3 games left, including tonight. So they have the Sparks, let's see, who do they got? New York, and then the Valkyries. So it's close.
And by the way, congratulations to the Sounders who beat the hell out of Miami, both physically and physically. On the field and off. Quite literally, they were throwing Miami guys all over the place. Like, yeah, you ain't messing with us. They beat them 3-0 and won the League's Cup.
There you go.
I think we're smoking some brisket, some ribs, and some chicken pags.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat whatever the media lunch thing is, and hopefully it's good today.
Perfect.
That being said, that does get us to the top of the hour. If you've been watching, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our stuff to you. Otherwise, we are going to get out of here. Hope you enjoy your Labor Day, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Take it easy, everybody.